WIBTA for telling my auntie if her kid is going to be around. I don't want to? I, 16F, was adopted by my auntie a little over 10 years ago. Over the last 2 years, she's fostered and adopted J, 7M. He's a nightmare and makes my life a living hell. I know you're probably thinking, oh, she's just a moody teenager that doesn't like kids, or something, but no. He set my room on fire in an attempt to kill my dogs, maliciously destroyed everything of mine that my grandmother got me before she passed, constantly stealing my stuff, and is just overall a bad kid. I tried to bond with him in the beginning but soon stopped as his behavior was too much. Her own friends and family won't even babysit him because he's so bad. Anyways, my birthday is coming up in 6 days and my auntie and I have talked about it, like what I wanted to do, what I wanted to eat, who I want there for it, etc. I told her I don't really care what we do and that I just planned on having a friend over and taking pictures, but I didn't want her kid around. She didn't have an issue with that and said she'd find a babysitter. I already don't typically like my birthdays because she turns it into a gathering and invites all of her friends, but she wants me to spend it with family. It's even harder for me this year as I typically shared a birthday month with my grandpa and cousin who passed away 32 days apart from each other last year, and now it's just me. I also planned on having my biological mother over, which I usually do every year, but she has time management issues and it'll take anywhere from 2 to 4 hours for her to show up, partly because she doesn't have a vehicle, so I try to spend as much time as possible with her, especially because she's been working out of town for the last few months, and whenever my mom comes over when Jay is around, I can't do anything with my mom in peace because he wants all the attention and to be included, and when it comes to my mom, I don't care, lock him in his room. For my birthday last year, I told my auntie the same thing, I didn't want her kid around. She said she'd find a babysitter, and didn't. He ruined the whole day being rude and then throwing a tantrum in the middle of the restaurant we went to, and I ended the day with a migraine and miserable. Now, because she told me last year she'd find a babysitter but never even looked and waited till last minute to tell me, I don't believe her when she says she will this time. So WIBTA for telling her that I don't want to celebrate with them if she's not actually going to find a babysitter and her kid is going to be around? Update. I asked my auntie and her partner if they're actually going to try and find a babysitter. They said they do not know as they don't have any friends willing to babysit him with how bad he is. Apparently one of her friends who usually babysits him won't do it on the weekends because she doesn't have her kids, and Jay's uncontrollable behavior caused her and her boyfriend to argue. I told her that if they couldn't find a babysitter, I didn't want to be here, which she surprisingly didn't have a problem with. I'm still unsure of what is going to happen, but my next solution is trying to send him to his friend's house the day of for a play date or something. Partly an update. I appreciate all of the comments, but I'm quite disappointed and disgusted at a comment made implying I was going to take off and get knocked up by my boyfriend as a solution. Whether you think him TA or not, that is completely inappropriate and I will not tolerate that. I did in fact send a pretty disrespectful message to that person, which I would typically be ashamed of, but considering some trauma I am not too willing to speak about on Reddit, I will not sit back and be okay. With that being said, I will also ask that regardless of how you feel, you refrain from calling the child my sibling or family. Under no circumstances will I consider that child my sibling or family, not because he's adopted. I have siblings who I'm not legally or biologically related to that I love dearly, but that's also because they aren't little tyrants who act with malice. Also because it was forced upon me for months to allow him to call me his sister before I could even get comfortable with it, but if my stubborn and narcissistic aunt can accept he is not to call me his sister and they are not to refer to me as his sister, so should you. Now the update. Apparently, I was wrong about my aunt being okay with me not celebrating with them like she seemed earlier in the day. We were speaking 30 minutes ago and she kept pressing the issue, to which I just said, I don't know, but that didn't help. She started getting irritated because I was not giving her the answer she was looking for, and I just said we'd talk tomorrow. I will update further when I know more.